Okay, so we got the Bitmain Antminer S19J Pro, and this is the backside of the ASIC. As you can see, there is one screw over here, so you need to loosen this screw, and you need to also loosen this screw so that you can remove both of these covers. And after you unscrew this screw, you need to press this button to be able to remove this cover. But I think this cover removes easily. Actually, I just removed this screw, but I realized there's also one over here that you also need to unscrew to be able to remove this cover. So I'm gonna do it now. So the top cover on the right removed easily. The top cover on the left was also easy to move, but it's a little bit more tricky. You see these hooks over here? You can't just pull it off, you need to pull it a little bit back and then you can pull it off easily. And when you put it back, obviously make sure to put the hooks in and put it back. But we'll do that later. Now what we want to do is to remove the power inputs for the fans, and we got 4 fans and we got 4 power inputs, 4 fan power inputs, and we're gonna replace each power input with one of the simulator's power inputs. I got 2 of them here because each simulator has 2 power inputs. The way you do it is you just kind of wiggle one of the power inputs and pull it. Wiggle it and pull it, and it should come off kind of easily. So I'm gonna do it for all 4, and I'm just gonna slide this power input this way, into the place of the fan power input. Now that I have the simulator chips inserted in the place of the power inputs of the fans, just make sure to put them under the rest of the wires so that we can later close the covers easily. Now we want to get rid of the fans and their wires. This wire is just can be easily removed. Just slide it out. Yeah, it's a little hard, but it should come out. Actually, there's a small plastic belt. You need some scissors to cut it. I need to use both hands here, so I'm gonna pause the video. Okay, so I just cut the belt. Here it is. We can get rid of that. Now we can remove the wire easily. And for this wire, you may need to cut this belt too. Actually, I'm gonna have to remove this wire. And after removing the wire and pulling it out, I'm gonna have to unscrew these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws that are holding the fans, and removing the fans completely with their wires on both sides. So I'm gonna have to do the same thing on the other side. It's quite simple, so I'm gonna get on with it now. Okay, so I removed all of the 8 screws on this side. Now we can remove the fans. I also removed the wires, and as you can see, I cut this belt to remove the second wire. And oh, actually I got one more screw right here that I need to remove now. Okay, I removed 2 fans from this side. You can see how the ASIC's gonna look like. And we're gonna have to remove the fans on the other side. It's the exact same process, so I'm gonna do it now. Also, it's worth mentioning that you can use the fans on other projects, but do be careful with them because they're very dangerous. They have a very high RPM. They can go to as high as 6,000 RPMs, I think. Now I removed the fans on the other side, and this is how it looks like. So now the only thing that's left to do is to put the covers back up. I'm just gonna flip it back to the original side that we started with. Alright, so remember these hooks, we're gonna put them back into the holes and make sure that this goes back on correctly. Yeah, I think it's back on now. Now I'm gonna have to put the 2 screws back along with the washers that were on them, and I'll need to use 2 hands, so I'm gonna pause the video now. Okay, now we're gonna put the second cover back on, and it's a little bit tricky. No, it's not too tricky. You just gotta put this inside the hole first, or no, put this side to the bottom first, the far side, and kind of push it in, and then bring this down. Make sure to push this bracket in, and you'll hear a click, and then put the screw back in. Now this screw is unlike the rest, it's without a washer, so don't worry if you didn't find the washer, it doesn't come with it, and just screw it back in. I also want to mention that you also need to disconnect the power from the smaller fans on the power side of the ASIC. You can see them, they're like the small circles on the side. The good news is you don't need the simulator chips to put them in the place of the fans, for the power fans. You just need to disconnect, and you don't even need to remove them, but you need to disconnect the electricity source from them. I still didn't try it, and I'm not sure how to do it, but it shouldn't be too difficult because you don't need to replace them with simulator chips, like I said earlier.